My name is George William Dackler, Jr. Here is what I would like you to know about me. I was born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio, where I had a pretty normal childhood. I went to school, I had a nice childhood, and I grew up and met the most beautiful woman I had ever seen before in my life. Her name was Jettie Pauline O'Neill. We dated for a while, had a lot of fun, and ended up getting married, having 3 children, and living the rest of our lives happily ever after. Our first son was George III, then we had Michael Jeffrey, and then we had our only daughter Lisa Renee. I would like to say thank you all for the happy Father's Day wishes that I can see in your hearts. And I'd like to say thank you for being the wonderful children that you were. And allow me to have a legacy long after death. George 3. I like for you to tell your buddy Harry thank you for allowing me to tell you a little history about your mother and I, but before I do, I want all of y'all to know that with all my heart, I love you. First I'm going to tell you about me. And then I'm going to let your mother tell you about her herself. Cleveland was established on July 22, 1796, by surveyors of the Connecticut Land Company when they laid out Connecticut's Western Reserve into townships and a capital city. They named the new settlement Cleveland after their leader, General Moses Cleveland, a veteran of the American Revolutionary War. Cleveland oversaw the New England-style design of the plan for what would become the modern downtown area, centered on Public Square, before returning to Connecticut, never again to visit Ohio. The town's name was often shortened to Cleveland, even by Cleveland's original surveyors. A common myth emerged that the spelling was altered by the Cleveland Advertiser in order to fit the name on the newspaper's masthead. The first permanent European settler in Cleveland was Lorenzo Carter, who built a cabin on the banks of the Cuyahoga River. The emerging community served as an important supply post for the U.S. during the Battle of Lake Erie in the War of 1812. Locals adopted Commodore Oliver Hazard Perry as a civic hero and erected a monument in his honor decades later. Largely through the efforts of the settlement's first lawyer Alfred Kelly, the village of Cleveland was incorporated on December 23, 1814. In spite of the nearby swampy lowlands and harsh winters, the town's waterfront location proved to be an advantage, giving it access to Great Lakes trade. It grew rapidly after the 1832 completion of the Ohio and Erie Canal. This key link between the Ohio River and the Great Lakes connected it to the Atlantic Ocean via the Erie Canal and Hudson River, and later via the St. Lawrence Seaway. Its products could reach markets on the Gulf of Mexico via the Mississippi River. The town's growth continued with added railroad links. In 1836, Cleveland, then only on the eastern banks of the Cuyahoga, was officially incorporated as a city, and John W. Wiley was elected its first mayor. That same year, it nearly erupted into open warfare with neighboring Ohio City over a bridge connecting the two communities. Ohio City remained an independent municipality until its annexation by Cleveland in 1854. A center of abolitionist activity, Cleveland, codenamed Station Hope, was a major stop on the Underground Railroad for escaped African American slaves en route to Canada. The city also served as an important center for the Union during the American Civil War. Decades later, in July 1894, the wartime contributions of those serving the Union from Cleveland and Cuyahoga County would be honored with the Soldiers and Sailors Monument on Public Square.